Hey guys, this is your favorite casual gamer here to talk about Days Gone. Now, uh, I know that I said in my last video that I'm going to be publishing scripted reviews going forward, but I guess we're back. We're back to podcast style of reviews, and there's only one reason for that. I ended up putting off trying to finish this game for the longest time. That's largely due to the fact that I have a huge backlog of games that I need to get to. Some of them are legendary titles, and yeah, so I didn't have enough time to finish this game. I finally got around to finishing this game when I got some time on my hands, and it was an exhausting journey. I This game just it took a lot of energy from me to finish it, and it just felt really stretched. I just ended up finishing this game recently. It felt so stretched. The third act of this game is just so fucking stretched. You're taking hordes after hordes after hordes in the third section of this game, in that last section of the game. And I don't care if I'm spoiling that. I think most of you who are clicking on this video have already played this game. I'm assuming. If you've not, then I would say you still need to watch this video because it's going to influence your purchase decision. Now, I'm not going to say whoever does not like these type of games, open world, zombie, third person shooters, should not buy this game. They can definitely go ahead buy this game. It's selling really cheap these days. I think it's worth the price. I think what you're getting for your money is good enough to justify its price. It's just when it comes to Sony exclusives, there are so many legendary titles, that it is competing against. It is competing against Last of Us, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima came out later, but I mean, it's still there. And you've got so many. You've got Infamous Second Son, which was infinitely more fun for me than Days Gone. L- and I'm comparing large sections of this gameplay. Now, there were times when I had a lot of fun with this game, and those were those unpredictable moments that everybody was talking about when they were reviewing this game back in 2019, when you run out of fuel and you're scavenging for things. That those are the moments that are really unique in this game. And that fuel mechanic, I ended up liking it. I did not think that it was a bad thing. I think that this is something that really adds to the whole survival pitch for this game. I think if you're gonna make a post-apocalyptic universe, then you might as well put a fuel system into the video game. I just don't understand why. Who is that man who is filling these fuel stations with enough fuel? I just don't understand how they are being maintained or who is servicing them. I understand that there are large encampments in this game. You're serving these camps, they are survival camps, and everybody is surviving. Everybody is looking to kill each other so that they can get enough food. They're fighting for the most basic things that human beings need. They're basically, it's a very bad world to live in, and yeah, you get that. I mean, we've the my main problem with this game, especially for the first 15 hours, is that it just does not do anything new. There is nothing new. I have played this game 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and maybe a year ago. I played Dead Rising, I played Days Gone, and I'm like, okay, what's the difference? Please tell me. uh Seriously, at least that game had a decent crafting system. I don't know what this game is trying to do with its crafting system. I did not like it at all. Uh, The materials in this game are pretty scarce for if you want to say craft a Molotov cocktail or a napalm Molotov cocktail, which you're going to be using later on in the game. Um, it's pretty hard to find sometimes. I mean, you gotta really know where to look, and yeah. So that's about it. Okay, I okay. I'm gonna try to do this in a more structured way possible. Let's start with the beginning of the game. The first few hours of this game, I would say the first 5 hours of this game introduce you to the gameplays, to the game's mechanics and its overall theme and the characters, the main important characters, the good guys. The bad guys are obviously at the end of this game, and or towards in the middle, depending upon who you think is the bad guy. Um, so I would say that the primary motivation for me to play this game, uh, especially to see through this game to its entirety, was the story, the plot. I thought that I felt connected to the characters for a very large part of the story. I really felt the chemistry between Sarah and Deacon St. John. Deacon St. John is a very charismatic character. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the. He's probably one of the better protagonists that I have played as, and in this kind of world, he would be the kind of guy who would get by and survive. I totally believe that Deacon St. John is able to against. Hold up his end against so many enemies in this type of world because he has been an outlaw in his past life. There have been mentions of that, and he's a man of code, a man of honor. He doesn't really he cannot really tolerate and sit by violence against women and children. That's something I really liked. The game tries to tell you that by one of the many jobs that you will do for these encampments. So Deacon St. John, really nice character. I only wish that the writing in this game was better. I think love I was basically doing a Naughty Dog marathon while I was playing this game. I was playing game after game that was made by Naughty Dog. I think the only game that is left from that is made by Naughty Dog on my checklist for the PlayStation 4 is Lost Legacy, which I'm going to get to pretty soon. I think the DVD is going to come tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So I'm going to be getting to that. And yeah, I would say that coming from those Naughty Dog level of writing to this game was a huge step down. You could feel it. The writing was bad in some places, outright bad, and in some cases it was pretty good. It was okay, serviceable, you can say. It was never really to it never really elevated itself to that level where you would like quote things from Days Gone or something like that. It just never really elevated itself to that level, and that really affected my experience uh, to a tremendous degree, I would say. Engagement is a huge part of these open world survival games, but if you don't have good writing to support that, then it just all falls apart, in my opinion. In the end, I ended up enjoying this game, but if you're playing this game uh, and if you don't have enough patience, and I don't even think that the users are to blame if you ended up uh, pulling out of this game in the middle of the game. If you were at like 50% completion and you gave up on this game, I won't blame you. I don't think that even the developers should be able to blame you, because this game was just overly long. It was overly stretched, the storyline, I would say. 60 hours, hell no. This game should have been, at the max, it should have been 30 hours. Even Last of Us Part 2, which ended up feeling stretched, was only 25 to 26 hours if you account for all the side activities that you do. So this game just ended up feeling hella long, and it did not. The gameplay aspects of it just ended up being so repetitive towards the end. Now they do try to keep their holds. They do try to keep their cards close to their chest by keeping away that horde stuff, the zombie horde stuff, towards the end of the game. But it just never really. Redeemed itself, even if I got to experience that towards the end game. And I should say that the horde encounters were pretty thrilling. They were pretty nasty, and they really got me on the edge of my seat at times. But after like 4 or 5 attempts, when the game just kept throwing horde after horde at me, I just ended up got getting annoyed at the game. I thought that it is now even making the best part of this game, which is the zombie hordes, repetitive. And there was nothing new about different hordes. Like if you get the gist of how to execute one horde, then you can do it for every single other horde. The only difference in challenge that you will face is the size of it, and that's about it. I think the playgrounds were not really. They were designed keeping in mind that the players will maybe take advantage of it. But the Sawmill Horde, I think everyone who's played this game must have played through the Sawmill Horde. They have to. That was the horde that they show on the E3 trailer. That was not very well designed because there were very few destructible environments, destructibles in the game, in that playground, and you had to like craft n numbers of napalm Molotov cocktail to beat them. You can also use an attractor and then use a grenade to try to separate them and then kill them off. That's what I ended up doing eventually after I uh, I ended up going on the forum because I just kept dying to that horde, and it just got pretty annoying after a certain point in the game. So I ended up liking this game a lot. Uh, but yeah, these are the things that really brought down the experience for me. At the end, I would say that I don't think 12 minutes or 20 minutes is going to do justice to this game because the game is just so long. It throws so many things at you. I'm trying to think of something that I should say. Maybe okay. Let's talk about the story. The story in this game is also it started off on a very good note, I would say, and towards the end, towards the middle of the game, it got really good. The suspense was built up so well, I would say. That you really wanted to know the fate of your wife. Okay, suppose the premise of the game is that your wife died when the zombie apocalypse happened. During it was happening, while it was happening, your wife got separated from you, and you actually don't know if she's dead or if she's alive. It has been so long, it has been 2 years, over 2 years, since you've not seen your wife, because you went back and you tried to look for your wife and she wasn't there, so you just assumed that she was dead. And the whole point of that third act of this game is to for you to find out what happened to your wife after she got separated from you. I thought that that reveal was done really well. I really liked the initial missions in that military area that you do encounter, but then after that reveal happens, the game just goes to an endless streak of repetitiveness, and the writing just keeps on getting bad. Uh, the only thing that really kept me going through that act was the chemistry between Deacon St. John and Sarah. Like I said, I really think that it's a good love story. It's well executed. You understand both parties, the perspective of both parties. You understand why they did what they did in the game, and I ended up rooting. for both the characters. I would say I really wanted them to get together, and I ended up liking the supporting cast as well. I really liked Ricky. I thought she was amazing. I think she had some of the best scenes in this game, and Boozer, who was infinitely awesome. He was this extremely lovable character, I would say, Boozer. And the friendship between Deacon St. John and Boozer is also really, really cool. It was really nice to see, I would say. And so, yeah, all in all, I think the selling point of this game should have been the characters and the story. And that is exactly what you're going to get. I think the characters are rich. The writing is not good, it's not engaging, but believe it or not, the characters are rich. I think the voice acting is done really well for these characters. The character animations are not always spot on. Some of the characters, they look really good, like Iron Mike looks really good in this game, but some of the other characters, like I think what was her name? The medic in the Iron Max camp. Yeah, she and I just didn't like the voice acting or the animations for that character. Just didn't sit with me. Addie, I think, was her name. So yeah, some of the characters don't exactly. Ricky also, by and large. The character animations were not as smooth as I wanted. One of the biggest downsides for this game, I would say, apart from its length, which is overly long, is the performance on the base system of PlayStation 4. It's horrible. I've never really played a Sony PlayStation exclusive with this many frame drops. It puts No Man's Sky uh, to shame, I would say. It's so bad. It's terrible. If you want to accelerate on your bike, be ready to play this game at 15, 16, 17 FPS, because that's what the game gets down to. If you accelerate even a little bit in this game, the frame drops so hard. And no amount of updates is going to fix this, because I think that this is a CPU limitation for the PlayStation 4. So I understand. I'm not going to blame the developers, but yeah, I think that they could have reduced asset quality for some of the environmental assets in this game to make this perform a little better than it does. But when you're making a game of this size and this scale, I understand that it's not always possible. The hordes didn't really drop as many frames as just traversing in the open world did. I Traversing in this world is actually my favorite part of this game. Th- they really offer some unique scenarios for the player. You have these unexpected encounters where there are tripwires, there are mines. You get trapped so many times, you get kidnapped so many times in this game, but you always get through. Okay. So, yeah, I would say open world exploration is a USP for this game as well. Open world design is good enough. It doesn't always throw so many map markers. The map is clean to look at, but it does not mean that it does not have busy work. It has busy work, and they are optional side quests, but again, you gotta do them if you need your sweet upgrades, and you need those upgrades to finish the story without much hassle. Otherwise, you're gonna have to really if you want to up the ante, make it challenging, don't do those side missions and just do the main story. But you're going to face some challenge. It's going to get a little bit unfair at times for you if you don't do any side quests. So yeah, that's the trade off, man. And the side quests are not well designed. They're very bad, very repetitive. They have basically no motivation for you to do them. You're just doing it for the sake of doing it, for earning some camp credits and upgrading your bike, upgrading your vehicle, maybe buying some new weapons. That's it. That's about it. You're not doing it for anything else. So yeah, I I really wanted to get a platinum for this game because I don't think it's that hard to get. But now, after finishing this game, I really don't want to get back into this game. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I just don't think I'll be playing anything else uh, ever. So that is just a huge step up in visual fidelity and in writing and overall exploration. That game is just, it's totally amazing. And Days Gone is still a pretty good experience. It just didn't ever really redeem itself for me personally. I never really found this game to have uh, any sort of impact on me when I was playing it. It's a good game though. It's an enjoyable game, a fun game to play. If you like open world games, you may like this. It's just not my cup of tea. So yeah, that's that's it for my thoughts on this game. I really appreciate you watching through this video, if you ever did, uh, if you really watched it through. And I promise that I'll go back to scripted reviews, because I know that I have some trouble gathering my thoughts. But I didn't have enough energy to write a scripted review for this one, so ended up doing a podcast review. Hope you guys understand that. Hope you guys like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe so that you can help my channel and help me make more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.